What you got?
John chapter 15. All right, guys. The title is Are You Connected? Are you connected to God? Are you connected? All right. So, are you connected? John chapter 15. This chapter could be unpacked in so many different ways. I could spend an hour literally just on the first verse. What do we? So I'm just gonna read through these verses, kind of break them down a little bit, and not really go too deep into it. 673. Page 673. Oh, we don't have enough Bibles. This is the first. Man, they really come here for me. No, it's all me, not Jesus. All right. Yeah, sure. Once I get there. All right. So, the first verse it says, "I am the true vine. Oh wait, I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener." All right. You all know that God calls himself "I am" a lot of times in the Bible, even just in the book of John. In chapter 8, verse 12, it says, "I am the light of the world." 10, verse 7, "I am the door." 10:11, "I am the good shepherd." 11:25, "I am the resurrection and the life." And then 14:6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." You all have probably heard some of those before. You say no? Oh boy. All right. So verse 1, I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. Okay, Christ is the vine, and God is the gardener, who takes care of the branches and makes them fruitful. The branches are all those who claim to be followers. Emphasis on claim. The fruitful branches are the true believers, all right, who, by their strong connection with Christ, produce good and healthy fruit. But those who become unproductive, those who turn their... Is it echoing? Echo? Those who turn their back from Christ after making a commitment are as good as dead. Those who turn their back from Christ are after making a commitment. All right, this commitment is really important, guys. If you make the commitment, stick to it. Okay? If you break that commitment, you're as good as dead, and you'll be separated from the vine. You'll be separated from Christ, and will be cut off and tossed aside. And we'll get into that last part later, tossed aside. Verse 2 and 3, if y'all are there. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit so that they will produce even more fruit. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Jesus makes a distinction between two kinds of pruning. One, cutting off, where... Hold on. Okay. One, cutting off, and two, cutting back. So, fruitful branches are cut back to promote more fruit, more healthy fruit. If you're cutting your hair, you cut off the dead end so that it'll be healthy. Or if all your hair is dead, which
it was that one.
You just shave it off, because yeah. In other words, God must sometimes discipline us to strengthen our character and faith. But branches that don't bear fruit are cut off at the base, and not only because they are worthless, but also because they are infected. They will infect the rest of the tree. So if I'm a follower of Christ, I have a good friend group who are also followers, and then I fall away. God wouldn't want me to stay in that friend group. Maybe he would, so that they could influence me, but more than likely you're going to influence them, and you'll infect them, and they'll start falling away. So, same with a grapevine. If the branch gets infected, the vine dresser isn't just going to leave it there. He's going to chop it off so it doesn't infect the rest of the plant. Verse 4 through 7. This is a big one. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me, and I in them, will produce much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away again, like a useless branch, and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want, and it will be granted. So many people try to be good, honest people, who do what is right. But God says that the only way to live a truly good life is to stay close to Him, like a branch attached to a vine. Apart from Christ, our efforts are unfruitful, and again, we will be chopped off and thrown into a fire to burn, also known as hell, which is a very real place, guys. Verse 8, when you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. I'm going to read that again. That's really important. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. When a vine produces much fruit, God is glorified. For example, God sends the sunshine and the rain to make a crop grow. And constantly he nurtures each tiny plant and prepared it to blossom. What a moment of glory and accomplishment for the Lord when the harvest is brought in, mature and ready to be eaten, after months of preparation. Because he made it all happen. Wouldn't you be happy if you just made an entire crop and you finally get to bring it in and eat it? This example shows how God is glorified when people come to a right relationship with Him. Okay, so He's nurturing us. He's nurturing us up to become very healthy, fruitful people. After all those years of Him, that doesn't make sense. After all those years of Him raising us and nurturing us. So He spends all these years from birth or even in the womb. He creates us in the womb, and then we grow up, and eventually He hopes that we commit our lives to Him. And that's that moment of satisfaction for Him, of glory. Verse 9 through 11. I have loved you as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, you remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in His love. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with my joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. So we are talking about how we need to love God, follow His commandments, but you might be thinking, well, how do we love God? Well, verse 10. You want to read verse 10, Quinn?
Yeah.
You said you wanted to read.
Verse 10?
Yeah, verse 10.
Okay. I see it. When you obey my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in His love.
So when you obey God's commandments, you remain in His love. So when you simply, I already said that. When you obey His commandments, we are loving Him. Simple as that. Now, when things are going well, we all feel happy and elated, But sooner or later, when those hardships come, we sink down into this deep depression. We're all like, oh, God, why did you do this to me? And we blame it all on God. But really, because we were in that high, we weren't giving any credit to God. But now when we get into this low, we're like, God, you betrayed me. You aren't helping me. Why would you have me be in this pain? I'm really losing my place here. But true joy that will make it through all the different circumstances, joy that comes from the consistent relationship with Jesus Christ. So even in those highs, you still have that consistent relationship, that daily quiet time with the Lord. You pray to God constantly. The Bible says elsewhere that we're supposed to meditate day and night on the Word. He will help us walk through any circumstances without sinking into lows and manage without moving into deceptive highs. The joy of living with Jesus Christ daily will keep us level-headed, no matter how high or low our circumstances. Verse 12 through 13. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend. We are to love each other as Jesus loved us, and he loved us enough to give us his life, guys. He may not have to die for someone. You may not have to die for someone, but there are other ways to practice this sacrificial love. Listening, encouraging, helping, giving, etc. I want you to think of someone in particular, someone who may be struggling right now in their family, with friends, with school, and just go up to them and be a good friend and just love them by being encouraging, helping, listening, and giving. Give all that you can, guys, and then give a little bit more. Verse 14 through 15. You are my friends. If you do what I command, I no longer call you slaves, because a master doesn't confide in his slaves. Now, you are my friends, since I have told you everything the Father told me. Okay, God is our master, our Lord, our creator. We should be called his servants. It's only right, but he calls us friends. Instead, he calls us friends. How encouraging and reassuring to be chosen as Christ's friends, because he is Lord and Master. We owe him our unqualified obedience. Guys, this is a huge verse right here. Verse 16. You didn't choose me, I chose you. I appointed you to go and produce lasting fruit, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask for using my name. Jesus made the first choice to love and to die for us, to invite us to live with him forever. We make the next choice to accept or reject his offer. Without his first choice, we would have no choice to make. Does that make sense, or do I need to explain that a little bit more? Without his first choice, we wouldn't have a choice to make. All right. Verse 17. This is my commandment, love each other. This is my commandment, love each other. When was the last time you got in an argument with someone? When was the last time you mumbled under your breath a bad word that you probably shouldn't have said because a teacher got mad at you? All right, guys, all these thoughts that go through your head, these are all sins. And the thoughts that should be going through our head are encouraging and maybe even prayerful thoughts. We're like, wow, I wonder why she got mad at me. Maybe I should pray for them. Go up to them, ask them if they need prayer. Guys, it'll be hard. It'll be really hard. But God will give you the strength to do it. Because Christians will get plenty of hatred from the world, from each other. We need to love and support each other as much as we can, because we're already getting all this hatred from the non-believers. Christianity is one of the most criticized and hated on religions that there is. And guys, if we don't stick together, we're not going to make it. It's simple as that. We need to love and support each other as much as we can. Do you allow small problems, like an argument or someone may be rude one day? Maybe you just need to go up to them and be like, hey, I notice you're kind of off today. What's wrong? Can I help you out with something? Guys, trust me, if you go up to them with that kind heart and spirit, totally knock them off guard, and maybe you can become their friend. Okay. Do you allow small problems to get in the way of loving other believers? Just think about it. Say you're in that argument. Just think about it. Is it right then and there? Is it really worth this problem? Is it really worth it to lose a friendship? Think of how important a friendship is.
It was my mom. She took my stuff.
You deserved it, probably.
No, I didn't.
Okay, Quinn, it might be hard, okay? But listen. I'm getting real prophetic right here. God will give you the strength. That's the wrong word, Mayana.
I told
real religious. God will give you the strength, Quinn. All right, guys. Just 2 simple takeaways. It's real simple. They even go together a little bit. Love God. How do you love God?
Pray.
Follow his commandments. Y'all weren't listening. I said that earlier. Love God.
Follow his commandments.
Okay, so follow his commandments if you want to love God. God says to love him. And then takeaway number 2, love each other. We all need the help. We're never going to make it by ourselves. Love each other. Love each other, Luna. Oh. Luna. As friends, no PDA here. It was on the thing, remember? All right. That's it.